Hey guys, good morning. It's about 6:20 here. I just want to do a real short video on the things I just more or less forgot to mention in the last video I put up about honing HW97 tubes. In the past, you know, anytime I've shown videos, or you know, I used to have a page up about R7s and mentioned the things that I do. And it, you know, the article got passed around on internet forums, and you know, I try and convey something when I put something in print or I do a video, and sometimes you know, I've come over the years, you learn that people filter what they hear through their own, I don't really want to say agendas, but you know, what they're wanting to glean out of what you're saying. And one of the things I keep running into is people look at what I do and the things I say, and they say that, and they're looking at it more or less from a consumer mentality, and they're not really looking at, they don't have any intentions of how can I optimize my rifle. But yeah, say good morning to the birds. Their agenda isn't necessarily going to one of my videos to find out how they can optimize anything, but they're looking at my videos as if I'm doing a review on a gun and whether the gun is worth buying. You know, their agenda when they watch the video is this gun that he's mentioning in this video good or not? And they will read into it that, well, if he has to do all this stuff to make this gun usable, the gun's no good. That's never been my intention, and I want to put this up, and I want to make it, you know, real clear. When I have to make a decision on what I work on and what I customize in the shop, I'm not going to start with a piece of junk. You know, my reputation is going to hang on how something comes out. I'm trying to build up something that, you know, like I said, I can hang my reputation on. I'm not going to go out and build my reputation on something that's going to make me look bad. I'm not going to pick the worst thing on the market and then show what all I'm doing to it. You know, when I first started putting these videos up, the whole point of them was just to show me doing the work. You go all really back to the when I show me duplicating the two 124 stocks. The only reason I put that video up was I would get 2 to 3 calls a week of people ask me, where do you get your stocks? You know, they're wanting to know how they can go to the person that is supplying me with what I do. Well, over the years, you know, the reason I do everything that I do is there's not necessarily, I've always had trouble going to somebody and getting them to do something for me that I want done. It's been the Achilles heel of me being self-employed all these years. Anything that I have to outsource has been a problem. I have to, you know, I got set up to do bluing because every time I went to somebody to get bluing, they just could not be bothered to do it right. getting shrouds done. I make all the shrouds, I do all the work in-house, I send them out to get anodized, and I probably have a 80% failure rate sending them out to companies to get anodized. And you know, somebody always comes up and says, well, you need to try this other place, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. Look, yeah, I've been doing this since, you know, the mid-90s, and I have tried company after company after company. But anyway, anyway, it's like, the point I'm making is I've had to start doing as much as I can in-house. Just, you know, that's always been the Achilles heel, is getting everybody to do something. So the original intent and purpose of me putting my videos up was to show that I was the one actually doing the work. The stock duplicating video, the 124 video I first put up, the whole intent and purpose of that was I was getting 2 or 3 calls a week from people saying, where do you get your stocks? And then occasionally somebody would call up and say, well, who do you send your stocks to get checkered? And you know, you look at some of those first videos, it's like, I'm not explaining why I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm just showing me doing the work. Anyway, as things have progressed, you know, kind of in defense of the way I do things, every now and then somebody will get a hold of something I've done, they'll take it apart and they start critiquing it. And they don't understand the where-tos and the whys of the, you know, why did they look at it. And, you know, when they open something up, usually their agenda at that point is to try and find something wrong, somewhere they can say, oh, well, he didn't do this and I would have done it different. And, you know, that's just human nature, anybody going into something. So I'm just kind of clarifying why I do things. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say my way is the absolute perfect and only way, but if I have a well thought out reason for the way I do things, I'm going to try and elaborate on it and make it clear. I don't mind sharing what I know and what I've learned over the years. But one thing I don't, you know, I've gotten better over the years. I guess most people could probably tell you this, but it's like, I didn't, you know, somebody arguing with you that's never done anything. You know, when I was younger, man, it's like, I didn't have any stomach for that. And I would go off on people. I would go off in horrible ways and hang up on people, yell at them on the phone and everything else, you know, and then have to call back and apologize for doing it. I've got enough years under my belt now, I don't really do that anymore, but and I don't mind sharing. I just don't have time for somebody that's going to argue when they don't know anything about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. You know, they have that eye to critique everything I do. Anyway, I'm hoping that my videos will help some people. It'll kind of clarify what I do. You know, somebody can get something out of it. I'm not of the mentality that it's all a big secret, and I've got my secrets and I'm not going to let anybody know what they are. That's never been the case. It's just when I put information up in the past, usually in the past I've just had people argue. You know, people that don't have, you know, the ability to do things come in and say, I wouldn't have done it that way. And it doesn't bother me near as much as it used to now. But anyway, it's just kind of an update. You know, on the 97 video, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that I'm not saying that the 97 is a bad gun. It's a great gun. People get them. You know, some people put hundreds of thousands of rounds to them with all factory components in it. They're extremely accurate. They're great rifles. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to glean every last little bit, and there's been a market for that over the years, that people keep coming back to me and wanting me to do something because they want things to be the absolute very best that they can be. And to some degree I've kind of painted myself into a corner with what I do. It's very time consuming. It costs a lot of money to you know, get set up to do all this stuff. I tend to be a little bit obsessive compulsive, wanting things to be just right, and the combination has made it where it's hard for me to get things out on a consistent basis. So anyway, this is just a little quick update, bring you up to speed. I want to make sure that I clarified that when people watch me do videos on particular rifles, that they don't. I want to make sure that whoever's watching this doesn't come in reading into what I'm saying, oh, well, that's not a good gun. That's never been my intention. I had pages up in the past on working on all kinds of different rifles, and when I would put them up, primarily that was the feedback that I got. Oh, that gun's no good because he had to do this, this, and this. The thing back to me trying to glean that last little bit. I don't know how many people watching this have ever worked on hot rods. I grew up working on motorcycles and hot rods. I had Chevelles and all the stuff back in the day, and the amount of money you spend to take a car that runs about a 14-second quarter mile and get it to 13 seconds, was a pretty sizable investment. But to take that same car now and try and get it down to 12 seconds, you spent a whole lot of money doing that. And if you really wanted to push it below 11 seconds, then you were just, you didn't care what it cost. You just had to throw money at it and do it. Well, I'd like to compare that analogy to what I'm doing here in the shop. Every now and then somebody will say, I've seen where I get mentioned on an internet forum, and somebody will eventually say, well, the honing and all this stuff that he's doing, that's not needed. And it's like, I'm not going to argue with that. It's not an absolute necessity. But that is, unless you've got a problem. If you've got a problem, then yeah, you need to be able to address it. And that's primarily why I got set up doing honing on receivers and stuff, was to address issues that I was having with not being able to keep parts to hold up long term. Most of the stuff that HW is putting out today, you very rarely have a lot of issues. Even these 97 tubes I was doing, as out as they are, I mean, it's like I think I mentioned in a comment, it's 3,500. You got a parachute seal. It's it's not going to be much of an issue. Is it better after I'm done? Absolutely. Will it last longer when I'm done? Absolutely. But when you buy a gun, you're not paying. Another comment you see, and it's kind of a consumer-driven comment again. It's like, as much money as I've paid for this, it ought to be ... Well, if they were doing what I am doing from the factory, these guns would be 2 to 3 times what they cost, and they wouldn't sell. There's a very small number of people that are willing to invest in what I'm doing to get those rifles to the point that they are when I'm done with them. They're great right out of the box. I can remember years and years ago, it must have been in the late 90s. No, it must have been around 04, 05 that I remember Brad Troyer coming to a field target shooting down in Baton Rouge, and he opened up the box on a brand new HW97, dropped a scope on it, sighted it in on the sight end range, and got out there and kicked all our butts. It's like, yeah, who's going to argue with that? It's 99% shooter. If you like something mechanically perfect and just absolute perfection, and you're like me and you just appreciate that level of refinement, then yeah, this is definitely worth doing. But in no way am I saying what I'm doing invalidates anything else, whether you're putting a kit in or even doing something as simple as doing a lube tube on a rifle. Is what I'm doing needed? If you have a problem you're trying to address, yes. If the gun is shooting fine and you're not having a problem with it and you're happy with it, then from your perspective, no, it wouldn't be needed. But anyway, I'll cut it off right there. I've been talking too long anyway. I just wanted to drive home that finer point that I'm not saying these rifles are no good. And you know, everybody, you know, they talk about everybody puts on a different set of glasses and they have a different perspective on anything. Some people's perspectives skew what I'm trying to communicate in these videos. I'm just trying to show what I'm doing, and I'm also trying to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, which is why I wanted to add this. So I just made sure that I clarified what I am and am not trying to say. Anyway, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and I appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.